Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an episode of Mr. Titan. We have today a couple guests. Again, we're going to talk about obviously Tennessee Titans football, about the football game, about the Lions game, a little bit about the playoffs, picture, the bracket, the Colts. We're also going to be breaking down the Packers game just a little bit, nothing too crazy. Again, I don't like to go live that much because I'm not good. I'm not Titan Upload or Ken Moore. These guys are killers. But I do have some special guests that are going to join me today, and I'm very happy to have them. Obviously, good friends of mine. We have boom. Wait, let me see. Hold on. Where's this? There it is. There we go. We got Ken Moore. We got Titan Upload. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show.
Hey, good to see you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Titan? Good to be back, man. Good to be back.
Go, man. Again, it's always good to have guests, especially good friends, right? This could easily go longer than usual. Usually, we'll start talking like me and Titan Upload used to be on the phone and we'd talk for like 10 minutes, and it ended up being like an hour, and then we're like, I'll talk to you later. But that I'll talk to you later ends up being another 20 minutes because we get into another segment. It just keeps going like that. But again, it's just I admire the passion you guys got for this football team and just doing this in general. So again, thank you guys so much for joining me, man. I do appreciate it for both of you guys, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Always a pleasure, my man.
Yeah, there we go. Look, okay, so we got some people already saying they're worried about the upcoming game and stuff like that. But man, we'll break that down. Obviously, I gotta drink some. I got this from my uncle, so shout out to my uncle who made actually the Mr. Titan mug. So I think that's pretty funny. It's just water though, not.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
No,
all right, guys.
This is water.
There we go. Maybe if I get a clear mug next time. I got nothing. I'm sorry. I'm out. But again, we'll go individually. How are you, Ken? How's everything? How's everything in H-Town, man?
Everything's great in H-Town, man. I've been busy. I just did my show last night. I had to take a bye week because I've been overwhelmed with Texas high school football. The playoffs are going on down here in Texas. So I've been focusing directly on that while still keeping an eye on the Titans and what's going on with them. But other than that, man, everything is well. Everybody's blessed.
There we go. What about you, Mr. Upload? How's everything over there in Illinois?
It's going pretty good. Not as good as weather as you. I heard you were 70 degrees the past couple days. So 60 some for you tomorrow.
Yeah.
But here we're going to be 53, which is great. But it's going to be 38-mile-an-hour wind, a lot of downpours, and it's going to freeze at night. So, which brings me to maybe the Packers-Titans weather on Sunday night.
There you go. And hopefully, again, we'll dive into that a little bit later, but hopefully we get that W, and people are saying this might be the statement game. It's going to be a better Sunday night football game than this week, or should I say last week?
Last week was awful, but we knew that was going to be awful.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, again, I want to appreciate anyone who's joined the stream. We have Raul. What's up, man? We have King Nat. He's a surprise. We got Boston Titan. We got Ian. What's up, man? Tighten up. Yes, sir. Okay. We got Kelsey Bio. She says our offense, I believe, can beat anyone, but I have a little faith in our defense. Again, we have the great Jim Lacey. Again, Jim, I've said it every stream that I've been on. Pray for Jim. He got tested for COVID, was positive, was in the hospital, came out. He's doing better. I usually try to check up on him every day, give him a text or give him a call. But again, Jim, prayers are out for you, man. Hopefully you can recover, get better, so you can watch a playoff game in Nissan Stadium. And she said it's pronounced. My bad. I'm English is
Keisha.
God, what did I say, Kelsey? I think I said Kelsey. Yeah, I don't know
Hey,
what I said.
Also a great moderator, by the way. We had a little bit of a hiccup not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, and came up huge. So
Oh, really?
does a
So
great
what?
job. Does a great
What?
job. So shout out.
There we go. Let's see. Raul says, "Can Rabel dial up some blitzes instead of running zone all day?" We'll see. I have no idea. Says, "I live in Florida and it's been in 30s and 40s for weeks." And Raul says it's been 60. So we'll see. He says Rodgers is gonna pick us apart no matter what the goal is for our offenses, outscore them. I feel like that's what's gonna come down to at the end. But all right, talking about, let me put this up because I like this one better. There we go. The Lions game. What'd you guys think about the Lions game? And we'll just go over a brief because I know you guys had post games and stuff like that where you guys talked about it. But just one thing that kind of stuck out to you, positive. Let's go with positive because the next question is going to be the negative. We'll start with Ken Moore, man.
The main thing for me, man, was seeing Adoree Jackson back on the field. The Lions were a team that we should have dominated, and we did dominate as I hoped and as I expected. The game was a little bit closer than what I wanted at halftime. But seeing Adoree back on the field was very positive. I thought he had a very good game for his first game back. I know he had one nice breakup on a deep ball. So I think his speed is going to be critical for us going forward. Obviously, Tannehill had a tremendous game. Derrick Henry had a tremendous game. The offensive line did pretty good, except for that one play by Quisenberry when, for some reason, he decided to cut the end. I don't know why you would cut the end on the 2-yard line. It doesn't make any football sense to me. But other than that one play, the offense was outstanding. Arthur Smith didn't call any passes to the right to the left guard at the 40-yard line, so that was impressive. But other than that, I mean, Adoree Jackson is the guy that stood out for me. I was glad to see him back on the field, and hopefully he can continue to play throughout what we hope to be a postseason run.
Absolutely. What do you think, Upload? What was the positive actually in this game?
Yeah, I'd go with Ryan Tannehill. He looked really good again. 5 touchdowns, couple running, couple throwing. The 75-yard bomb to Corey Davis was just great.
That was.
I enjoyed that. I
was like,
enjoyed that more than the stiff arm.
Yes,
but
yes.
You know, it's good to see the offense gel. For the most part, they even were getting Jonnu Smith involved. They hit a big key third down, I think it was in the third quarter, moving the ball to Ferkser, who was wide open. Well, let's not get it, ahead of ourselves. The Lions defense was pretty bad, but it's still good to see the Titans rack up the points. And to be honest with you, and I know we'll get into this, looking at the Packers, looks like they're 1-2 against playoff teams. So most of their games have been pretty much cupcakes. So I don't know, guys. It's hard to look at the stats and not give the Packers the respect because they have Rodgers and all that. But if you look at their schedule and you look at who they've faced, I know ours isn't the greatest either, but I think we got a really good chance to go into Green Bay. And again, this Lions team that we beat, the Packers played them last week, and they kind of struggled against them until Stafford got hurt. So, it was good to see us. We still need some, pass rush, some sacks. Like Ken said, it was nice to see Adoree Jackson back. But again, you got to start with Ryan Tannehill. And he didn't make the Pro Bowl, but I think we got bigger things ahead of us rather than some Madden video game for sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into the Pro Bowl snubs and stuff like that. But again, I think it's a popularity contest at the end of the day. Tennessee Titans are small market value, and again, if they never put Derrick Henry and they didn't put him in MVP candidate or even AJ Brown, it's kind of like blasphemy. I mean, come on, like the way they're performing and stuff, you got to give them credit when credit's due. So again, the Tannehill snub, it does stink, but again, maybe he plays with some fire underneath. Maybe he just comes out balling, but he's been excellent. He's been more than great. Different than the Tannehill in Miami, completely. Once you have, someone who, gels, you got the yin and you got the yang, you got Derrick Henry, you got Tannehill. I mean, you got to give J-Rob all the credit for making that work because they've worked perfectly together.
That was definitely his best move. I think drafting Derrick, obviously, and then that trade for Tannehill was excellent. Well, we give up a 4th-round pick, I believe. So that's probably the best 4th-round investment in quite a long time for this franchise.
Definitely. Now, going through, right, like Upload was saying, we had some concerns as well. We didn't look the prettiest on certain things. Again, Quisenberry gave up that sack. What do you guys think? What was the biggest concern going into the game? Again, the defense looked shaky again. It looked suspect. There's times where they kind of held their own, but then when the backup QB, once Stafford got hurt and stuff came in, I mean, that first drive he put together, didn't they go down the field? Like you don't want to see that, that. So we'll start with Upload. What do you think about what concerns you got, man?
Yeah, it's definitely the defense. The defense has been a concern. We know it's a concern. I think everybody knows it's a concern. What Cleveland did to us, you really have to focus and zero in. I know, like, you're a true fan and all that, whatever. Some of us don't like to get critical on the team, but just because you're critical of the team, it doesn't mean it's just like if when you're raising your kids, if they're doing something wrong, you want to fix it.
Yep.
And so they will improve them later on in their life. With the Titans, it comes down to if I'm facing the Titans, I'm throwing all. I don't even worry about running the football. I just line up and I throw it all over the yard and I make them come up with a stop. I'll give the Titans credit. They're back in first when it comes to turnover margin per game averaging. I think they're 0.9 with the Colts. So the Colts are doing that very well too, which I'm sure we'll get into later. Definitely. But we got to figure something out. We're getting no pass rush. So I know it's fun and it's something to look at. It's like, why do we even worry about rushing the passer? We should just send 11 deep. Even Stafford, the time we do cover really, really well, we still don't have a pass rush. Stafford gets out and he's got a bummed rib and he still runs for 15 yards and out of bounds. Didn't even get touched. Yeah. So this is going to be a concern. Honestly, this week, it's going to tell. That's why I think the Packer game is very big because the one team they keep bringing up, Mahomes. How are we going to stop Mahomes, right?
True.
Well, we're going to get a look at Rodgers, who's playing, I think, even better than Mahomes right now. I think he's at 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. This is going to be a tough challenge, but the weather might be in our favor, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that.
Definitely. What about you, Ken?
To me, it's the defensive coaching at this point because the players are who they are. Their talent level, I'm talking about defensively now. The talent level is what it is. So guys aren't going to get better. Now, you can see Adoree help because he hasn't played all season. If Christian Fulton comes back, which I saw, I think, an Instagram or a tweet from him that he was really disappointed that he didn't get to play on Sunday. So I don't know if that was the team just being cautious or if he had a setback during warmups, but I think he may be back for this game. But to me, the coaching scheme, the coaches have to take more chances. It was disappointing to see Matt Stafford back there, can't move around, and we're still only sending 4 guys. Every once in a while, we may send 5. Send 6. Try to get to him. Try to make him move off of his spot. We allow teams to be too comfortable. We allow quarterbacks to be too comfortable in the pocket. And these are Pro Bowl caliber players when you're talking about Matt Stafford, you're talking about an Aaron Rodgers coming up now, Baker Mayfield. Yeah, he's exceeded expectations to this point. So you have to put pressure on these guys, make them uncomfortable. So really, I'm more disappointed in the defensive coaches than I am in the players at this point.
Absolutely. Again, I think I was on Titans and Truth, and we were talking about, Matthew Stafford coming in, and I was like, he's probably coming in because he knows there's no one's going to touch him. He could be injured and no one's going to touch him. And we both laughed about it, but I think it's true. I think that's, pretty much what happened. The only time we sacked him was because it was like a miscue in the hiking. He fumbled
bad
it.
snap.
Yeah, bad snap, and look what happened. Right. So again,
and I've been corrected on that on my own show that they said that's actually a tackle for loss. It is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So we have no sacks.
No sacks.
And then the questions come in. You start trying to see who can actually help this team. Like Titan Upload, the video you made about what's his name, Clay Matthews. Would a Clay Matthews work in this situation? I think anything right now would help this team out. Not just that, but just in depth in general, right? I saw
that they signed Brooks Reed, another former Texan. I saw that he was inactive this past week. So keep an eye out for him to maybe get some linebacker play, maybe over the next couple of weeks before we go into the playoffs. Vrabel familiar with him because, we sign all the ex-Texans. So maybe J.J. Watt will be on the team next year. Who knows? But Brooks Reed, he had a decent career here in Houston. So he may be the guy that we try to go to over this next game or two to try to get some pressure.
Definitely. Can we just release Wyatt Ray right now? Can we just be done with him? I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like they activate him. I never even see him out there. At least Skipper would pop up every now and then. This whole thing has been a train wreck all season. I get it. John Robinson tried. He went out and was like, hey, we'll bring in Beasley and then we'll take a shot at Clowney. And Ken said it many, many times too. Clowney's not your typical pass rusher. That's not his design. He could do many different, all sorts of trades. Clowney can do it. He can make your defense better. But that's not exactly what he was intended to do for us. But you're just, and Ken's been all over this too. Like, I can't wait to ask him on the last two games with Landry, what's the percentage is he at now? Last time I talked, it was 95, 97, 98. Eventually, he's going to get hurt.
2 weeks ago, he was under 90% for the first time this season. I think he was at about 87%. I haven't looked for yesterday's game, but 2 weeks ago against the Jags, now maybe because we blew out the Jags and they played a lot of reserves late in the ball game, but he was under 90% against the Jaguars.
Wow, that's crazy. So again, like you said, what is J-Rob's? What's his intentions? What is he trying to do? I understand that he tried to make a big splash. He did make the big splash, right? He got a Clowney. I think everyone would have criticized him if, we didn't sign Clowney. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So if you get Clowney and then he ends up playing like he did, he's out for the season. Oh, he's a bust. Oh, what was J-Rob doing? But then if J-Rob doesn't get Clowney, why is J-Rob's not doing anything? He's not trying to help the team out, this and that. So again, he did put almost all his coins in on Vic Beasley, Clowney. That was his, hey, this is how we're going to improve the defense. And unfortunately, it kind of bit him in the butt at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't think there was any easy fix, though. I will give him credit there. The draft, you're drafting 29th. We've had Brian on many times. Brian said there's really not that guy that you're looking for. They knew it. They talked about it after the Kansas City loss. I've heard when they got together and they discussed the 2021 Titans, what's that team going to look like? They all mentioned we need to pass rush. It got so bad in that Kansas City game, they said, heck with it. We'll just send three. And that's why Mahomes was able to run so much on us, where he doesn't usually run on teams. So again, it wasn't an easy fix. You try Beasley, didn't work. I think most of us figured it wasn't going to work when he didn't show up for the longest time. Mm-hmm. And then Clowney came in, and we, like Ken mentioned, these guys were just being overused. It was just a matter of time before Clowney was going to get hurt, and I think it's a matter of time before Landry gets hurt. I'm actually shocked Landry's lasted this long, to be honest. But draft-wise, you didn't take anybody. At least pick somebody to develop them or try. You picked the quarterback from Hawaii. You gave him 4 practices, and you're like, yeah, we're good. look what Chris Jackson at least is able to do for you.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be a number one starter in this league, but at least he's a developmental guy. You could have did that with a pass rusher somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, by the way, for Landry, he's back up to 95% on this past 95%. David Long was at 98%.
Wow.
Will Compton, the only play he was in at linebacker was the play he cost the fumble.
Yeah.
That was the only play he played at linebacker. Everything else was on special teams. Rashad Evans, 86%. Jeffrey Simmons, I've been concerned about Jeffrey Simmons. I talked about this last night on my show. He played 77% of the snaps last night. Now, last year, of course, when he drafted, he came in with a knee injury. Mm-hmm. So he missed the first half of last year. He was terrific the last half of the season. He was terrific the first half of this season. Is he starting to wear down? Because I'm not seeing those impact plays from Big Jeff anymore. I think, he's starting to wear down now. This is game 15, game 16. He hasn't played that much football in the last couple of years. Your guys' thoughts on him?
Ken, you need to get back on Twitter more. He's posted this many times, Ken. Yep. He came out last week and said he can't be stopped. There's not one guy in the league that can stop him.
Yep.
The question is, well, then what's going on, right? So, I don't know, but I have noticed he just is not that impactful player. Now, I will say this: us against the run has been a little bit better. I mean, we've been improving at least that area, which gives me hope. That's why I say just do what the Browns did. And the number one rush offense, and what did? They threw it all over the yard. That's what I'm scared about come playoff time.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, guys, all right, the Ravens, right? We beat them. What is the first thing they did in the offseason? That defensive line. They got it because guess what? They couldn't stop Derrick Henry. We lose to the Chiefs. What's the thing that we need to fix? Pass rush, defense. So we let go, Logan Ryan. We let go Jarrell Casey, Wesley Woodyard, Correa. We didn't fix anything. And then we lost Dean Pease. So we didn't really fix anything. Dean Pease, again, I know I kind of harp on this day in and day out, and I kind of repeat myself, but he was a big key in that Ravens win. He schemed such a great, Lamar Jackson couldn't do anything. We tried to beat us, and they couldn't. And I just feel like if it comes down to like a Mahomes or something like that, and we have to play the Chiefs again, I don't see us winning just because our defense last year was better than this year, 100%. Mm-hmm. So how do we prepare for them a second time? Again, we didn't fix anything in the offseason like the Ravens did. I'm not going to say not that the Ravens are going to beat us in the playoffs if we play them. No, I'm fine with the Ravens. I'm okay with them. I'm just saying they re-ramped themselves. They're trying to fix their mistakes, and I feel like we made mistakes, but we didn't fix them yet. And like you said, Upload. It's not going to be, out of nowhere we fixed everything. I understand that, but what do we do when we play the Chiefs? Again, the Packers is kind of like a show. This is the game that are we in it? Are we up to the challenge? Again, we kind of struggle on primetime games. That's another thing. Primetime games usually isn't our thing. What do you guys think of that?
You want to go first, Upload?
It's all you, Ken. All you.
To beat the Chiefs, the Packers, the Browns now, you're just going to have to outscore them. You're just going to have to outscore them. I compared us, and I still compare us. We're the Seattle Seahawks of the AFC. But the one thing that Seattle did during the season, because their defense was just as bad as ours, but they made the trade for Jamal Adams, and then they made the trade for Carlos Dunlap. Those guys have completely changed the tenor of that defense. They are now one of the best defenses in the NFC after having a defense that was as bad as ours 5 weeks ago. But the only thing we added was Desmond King during the season. We could have gone after Carlos Dunlap, and he would have been a tremendous help to our defensive line. But we chose not to do it for whatever reason. I don't know if it was money. I don't know if we didn't want to give up the draft capital or what the situation was. So that's problem number one. So the only way to beat these teams, you're going to have to outscore them because you're not going to stop them. I mean, unless the other teams can self-destruct. If Mahomes has a bad day and throws 3 picks like he did a couple of weeks ago, if Rodgers has a bad game on Sunday, or if the weather is really, really bad, that prohibits a team from throwing the football if it's very windy conditions. But other than that, you're just going to have to outscore teams.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. And I think that's where Derrick Henry falls into this, right? I mean, you control the game like we did in the playoffs. You keep teams off the field. But what do you do when you play Mahomes? Well, if you can't get off the field yourself, then Henry and Tannehill can't get on the field. Or if they do, then they feel pressured that they got to score every time. And yes, sometimes I'm a little hard on Arthur Smith, but sometimes you got to work. Like if you're Arthur Smith, I mean, you got to go into games sometimes feeling like, hey, we got to score every possession. So that puts maybe too much pressure on Arthur and the offense where they, like any other team, you just go in there, you try your best, you keep moving on, and at least you're going to put up a few stops. Tennessee's been able to come up every now and then and get it done, but I mean, at times they just look like 3rd and 13. Go back to the Lion game. I think it was like 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 2, one of those things, right? There was a penalty. Actually, we stopped them. This was the 3rd and 3. We stopped them. Stafford threw it over someone's head, but there was a false start, so you can't decline that. So what happened? They backed them up. 3rd and 8. What happens? Delay of game. All right, no problem. Bring them back. So 3rd and 13 or whatever it was.
10. It was 3rd and 10. It went to 3rd and 20.
and then they complete it. And it's like, that's the stuff you got to stop. But if you don't have a pass rush, you could have the best secondary in the world. If you're going to get Mahomes all day just to kind of look around like Stafford's a good quarterback.
He is.
I hope he doesn't end up on the Colts next year. I'm hoping he doesn't. But that is definitely scary. So we'll have to see what happens. You're not just going to fix it overnight, and that's probably the thing you're going to have to do, And I don't know. Is it because of, like, I forget who it is, Ryan in the house here? Is it maybe it's because of the leadership? Maybe it's because they expected some of these stars to be stars on defense. Kevin Byard, he's improved the last couple of weeks. Rashaan Evans, he's been a little bit better. But some of these guys haven't taken that next step, and I think that's what they're really counting on.
Absolutely. Especially losing Wesley Woodyard, a leader, Logan Ryan, another one, Jarrell Casey. That was maybe they were thinking, Jeffrey Simmons was going to fill in that role of Jarrell Casey. And then Rashad Evans, maybe a Wesley Woodyard. Who knows? And again, you're right. Maybe they just haven't stepped up to the plate when they should. And again, finally, Kevin Byard gets an interception, better late than never. And Big O Titans in the house. That's the best offense in the NFL, which is true. Long Jr. and Compton stepping up. Okay, so the next question, guys, all right? This is the one that we might be on for a little bit just because. Who takes the AFC South? Colts or Titans? And we could talk about the last 2 games of the season. We play the Packers, and then we play the Texans. And then the Colts played the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then they played the Jags. In your opinion, obviously, next week it's all on the line, I think. So the last games don't count. It's these 2 games, the Steelers versus Colts and Packers and Titans. Either of you guys, you can go first, whoever. What is the bigger game? Obviously, what do you think? Who's got this, man?
I'm going to defer.
He's like,
I'll go last.
I think you'd have to tell me if the Colts win or lose. And the good thing about Sunday night is we'll know.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot's going to rest on that. I think if the Colts win, then that Packer game becomes pretty much your division. I mean, you're not going to be able to win the division. We'll be trailing. And then we got to hope that the Jaguars win again. I did beat them the first time, but Minshew last week against the Ravens or this past weekend looked awful. So that's the concern, and it is at Indy. And I feel like the Colts, I think the Titans deserve it. And that's what's frustrating with me. But the Colts could come through here and steal it because the Colts, let's be honest, they've got a lot of luck on their side. Nothing there with luck. But, they have. And I'm not going to overlook that. The Texans came in and got blown out by the Bears. The week before, took the Colts to the 2-yard line, and then we fumble. Same thing happened this week. They fought back. They're down 14-0. I am scared, though, guys. I'm telling you, we have the number one offense, as Big O said. But when you're bringing that defense to the party, if they can't get the turnover, those timely stops, we're facing 2 Pro Bowlers and we're facing 2 top quarterbacks, Rodgers and Watson. So those games, if you don't believe me, go back to week 6. Look how that game ended against Houston. You can't look me in the eye and tell me you thought we were going to win that game the entire game, because it wasn't looking that way, especially when they were going for 2. And that kind of left the door open, but they get that 2-pointer, the game's over. So we have to just hope Marcus Mariota comes through for us on Saturday or whatever that is, gets us into the playoffs, and then we'll let everything take care of itself. But I honestly think, and I think I said this earlier, I think the Colts will win the next 2 games. So we got to win the next 2 games if we want to win the division.
Yep. A lot of people are just saying we just got to win out. Don't worry about the Colts, which obviously it's true, but at the same time,
said and done.
Exactly. It's easier to say, we're just going to go in there and beat the Packers, which is going to be a harder team that they're still going to be playing for their spot, even though they've got it already. They're trying to get that number 1 spot over there. And the Steelers, again, we talked about this a little bit earlier. The Steelers coming off 3 losses in a row. Now they play a Colts. People think they're going to be desperate. They're going to play angrier. But we talked about this. And what do you guys think about that? You think the Steelers have a chance? Do you think the Colts are just going to – I think that right now the Colts are just a better team overall. The Steelers just don't look like they have anything in the tank. It looks like the Browns might take it.
I think that man.
Go ahead, Ken.
There is first, I got a question. What is the weather, Mark? Because I know you tweeted the weather and you've been keeping up the weather and you're in that neck of the woods. And I think the weather can play a critical factor. What is the extended forecast saying for Sunday night?
I think there's a chance of snow. Last time I looked, it was like 22 degrees, but the winds are supposed to be, it could be up to like 22, 28 mile an hour gust. So again, we put that in perspective. It's going to be cold. So we'll just say that with the wind chill, it's going to be cold. And they're still expecting some sort of snowstorm coming through here to the north. Where it's going to hit and where it's going to lie, I think we really know at this point. But look at my weather tomorrow, 53 degrees. It's going to rain all day, and it's going to be freezing by the end of the night. And then on Christmas Day, or actually Christmas Eve, I want to say in my area, which is central Illinois, just northeast of Peoria, southeast of Chicago, right in that area, we're expecting, I want to say, in the single digits as far as wind chill on Christmas Eve. So, Green Bay is obviously more north than me, about 4 hours. So it's going to be cold. I think that helps the Titans, though.
Right. Yeah, I think that helps the Titans as well. To answer the question directly, I'm afraid it may be Indy because Indy has the easier path right now. The Texans gave them 2 gifts in the last 3 weeks. You would expect the Colts to lose one of those games. So, like Mark said, no pun intended, but it seems like luck is on their side right now. they're playing Pittsburgh at the best possible time for them because the Steelers are a train wreck right now. They can't get out of their own way. Their defense is beat up by injuries. They don't have a running back. They don't have a running game. And Roethlisberger looks like he can't throw the ball more than 10 yards downfield. So I think the Colts are going to beat the Steelers, unfortunately, unless something miraculous happens.
Oh,
18 degrees. That's good news for us.
That's
good news for us. So I think the Colts are going to win their next 2 games, like Mark said. So then it comes down to, can our defense contain Aaron Rodgers? And if the weather is in the teens, and if it's windy, the wind is the critical thing. It's really not the temperature. It's really the wind, because that's what can affect the football. And now Tannehill's going to have a problem with that as well, because Tannehill's not used to playing in that type of weather.
Absolutely.
Rodgers is more used to it than Tannehill is, but when you break it down, I think that gives us a slight advantage. But to answer the question directly, if I had to bet, I would lean with Indy.
And what was your we talked before this? What was your scenario that you said it would scare the hell out of you? What was that you were talking about earlier before?
There's a doomsday scenario where we completely miss the playoffs, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. We lose to the Packers. If the Texans decide to go all in and we have to win that game to get in, I mean, we know how Deshaun Watson is against our defense.
Yep.
That's not going to be a gimme game. There's a possibility we could lose that game and we end up 10-6. The Ravens are going to win out their last 2 games. They're going to finish 11-5 because they have an easy schedule. So the question then comes down to Miami and what Mark was just talking about. They play the Raiders this week, but they're playing with Marcus Mariota. Miami has a damn good defense, and now they've had a week to look at Mariota with Oakland. So now they got film on it.
Yep.
So, with Mariota and expectations, those 2 things usually don't go well together. So Miami could win out because they have the Raiders this week, which they're favored to win. They play Buffalo the last week of the season, but Buffalo won't have anything to play for that last game because they've already clinched their division and they don't have a shot at the number 1 seed. So they could theoretically rest Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and all of their main guys, and then Miami wins out. So you got Miami at 11-5. You got the Ravens at 11-5. You got the Colts winning the division, and then the Browns are already in. And then guess who's out?
Wow, that's the.
Hey, but at least we're not 9-7. What we've heard all off.
You know what? I'd rather go 9-7 and make the playoffs. I mean, apparently that's the new thing. Everyone's 9-7. The curse is broken. The curse hasn't been broken. I mean, it's a good curse if you think about it. We've been a winning record for 4 years in a row. Is it 4? Right, 4. We've been 9-7. That's not bad at all. I'll take that.
Now we got 10 wins and we're hanging by a thread.
Exactly. Like 2020. What a year. What a year.
Yeah. Well, there is some positivity.
All right, let's hear it.
The doom and gloom scenario I think is real. That's something I will keep privately in my own home. None of you will know about that because I'm a worry wart for sure. So I definitely worry. But we do own the tiebreaker now that I found out. If we should win against the Packers and the Steelers decide to actually play football and not dance on logos in the middle of the field, if that happens, well, now, theoretically, if we know we can't get the 3 seed, which we won't own the tiebreaker versus the Browns, so I don't know if we'll know that for sure. But do we just rest guys against the Texans because that game won't matter anymore? So it's strength of schedule, right, Ken? I mean, strength of opponents who you beat.
Common opponents.
Thank you, Buffalo. Yes. So thank you, Buffalo, and thank you, Baltimore Ravens. You know what I mean? So that's going to give us the edge because the Colts, one of their wins was against the Jets. So that's one win. And we lost to the Bengals, but that won't matter because, it doesn't matter at that point. It's only the teams you beat. So it is interesting to see how that will line up, that we might actually win the division on Sunday night.
Yeah, we could win the division on Sunday night, or we could not make the playoffs at all. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. The possibilities, the pendulum can swing either way. So I'm just gonna say my prayers the next 6 nights and see what happens.
Hey, 2020 will be officially over when we play the Texans. So maybe the defense shows up. Who knows?
You never know, man. Someone says 12-4. Big O's like 9-7, make the playoffs. You're right. I mean, that's again, if you brought it up to me and said, hey, would you go 9-7? Would you want to have 9-7 and make the playoffs, or 10-4, or 10-6? I'd pick 9-7 all day. I don't care. But as long as we made the playoffs, right? We're in there. Now we have great record. We're breaking records as well, and we could miss the playoffs. It's nuts. It's crazy just to think about like that. And look, Oscar Vega said, did y'all hear we brought in Mason Kinsley for a workout? Just joined the stream. Tying up. Was that that's Upload's guy, man? Wouldn't that be a crazy turnaround? Like, but that just shows you how crazy life is too, Wouldn't that be something? Yeah. I didn't know about that. Did you hear anything about that, Upload?
Oh yeah, I heard.
He's pretty close right now.
To be quite honest, I knew days ago.
Okay.
I will say this: with them bringing in, I call him Baby Davis and Kinsey. So one of them, I'm thinking, makes the practice squad. One of them might get called up. I'm hoping, and I'm really hoping it's Kinsey. I think he deserves this shot. He's been bouncing back and forth with the Patriots. They let him go. They re-sign him. And I thought, J-Rob kept him along an awful long time. J-Rob sees something in this guy, and I think J-Rob's the one that got him a gig in New England, to be honest with you. But the Titans are a loyal franchise. Vrabel's a loyal guy. When Davis did come up, he did it. I mean, he did contribute. He did what he needed to do. So I would think that they're going to promote Davis, and then Kinsey goes to the practice squad. And then when Raymond comes back, which I didn't even know he was on the COVID list, I feel terrible. But and when him and Hollister officially come back, then I'm not sure what's going to happen with some of these guys.
I was wondering where Khalif Raymond was.
Yeah. He got put on last week, right? Or this
week? He's been demoted from a lot of his spots. He hardly plays on offense. He's not on kick return anymore. The only thing he did was punt return. So when the game went on, I was kind of like teasing that a little bit, like, what's going on with Raymond? And like everybody in the chat's like, dude, he's on the COVID list. Dude, he's on the COVID list. And I had no idea.
I didn't know either. I didn't know either, to be honest with you. I was wondering as well. Mm-hmm. Well, again, as I told you, I've been out of the loop the last week or so. So yeah, that one completely flew by me. One guy that I did like, and I think can be key for us if we continue to move forward, is Derrick Evans. I mean, he looked good, he looked quick, and that's why we drafted him, to be that change of pace back. We put Deontay Foreman back on the practice squad. But if Derrick Evans, I mean, he looks good on kickoff returns. I always worry about rookies returning kicks, though, just protecting the football and not fumbling. But offensively, I think he can be that secret weapon that we've been looking for out of the backfield when we take Henry out on passing downs.
Definitely. There was a lot of people that were upset that they wanted Henry to keep running and stuff like that. And again, if he doesn't get to 2,000 yards, I'm okay with it. I'd rather save him for the playoffs than keep trying to break records. Yeah, it's nice to break records, this and that, but would you rather break records and not win a chip, or win a chip and not break any records? I go with winning a chip and not breaking any records. I don't care about the records. It's not that big of a deal. It's just numbers. At the same time, you want to save him for the playoffs. They're going to rely heavily on Derrick Henry in playoff time. When it comes to crunch time, we're going to need him 100%. Okay, so all this stuff about oh, they're all mad because Darrington Evans was playing good. He needs reps. He needs rep. He hasn't gotten it yet. It's good just get his feet wet and stuff like that. So again, like you said, Darrington Evans was a really nice addition, especially coming out of the backfield and catching that touchdown. So liked it a lot, and he does bring a different element to the passing and running game.
Yeah, I think it's time for McNichols to go to the practice squad, and then Foreman needs to be up.
Foreman was nice.
I agree.
If your identity is Derrick Henry, then if something happens to Derrick Henry, then you're relying on McNichols and Evans. Like they're kind of, you know what I mean? And McNichols hasn't been doing a good job on third down, I don't think, as far as like with his pass protection. But I mean, honestly, I don't know what they're really expecting from him in that. But you almost know they're not handing the ball off on 3rd and 2. That's what frustrates me so much when they do take Henry out in those. But if you throw Foreman in on a 3rd and 2, Titans might run it. You see where I'm going with that? So Foreman and Evans, but Evans, it's a hamstring. Those things can, I mean, you saw what happened to Corey Davis, Evans, and Fulton when they came back. Those things can go at any moment. That maybe they're trying to give them tread water a little bit, but I would love to see Foreman back on this roster. I think he's a great backup for Henry, and then Evans is your change of pace guy.
I mean, he's just aggressive. You see him when he's running, he's hitting people. Like it's nice to see. And again, I agree with you 100%. Foreman was really, really nice. Aggressive style of running.
Free Deontay Foreman.
Yeah, there we go. Come on. I liked him. Brought him from Houston. I liked him. And again, Big O, glad that you're okay, man. Hopefully you feel better. I mean, people are getting COVID left and right. I know it's kind of out of the blue, but praying for you, man. Hopefully,
prayers, man.
Yep, stay good, brother. But again, we go back to Deontay Foreman. Definitely would like to see a little bit more of him because it was nice what we saw. I thought McNichols was doing good in the beginning of the season. He looked fresh. He looked exciting, and then for some reason I forgot what game it was. It was like 3rd. I mean, they kept on giving it him, and he just kept on getting negative yards. He just kept on going backwards. He just couldn't find the hole. He just wasn't breaking through. I was just like, what's happening here? So again, and then we're going to leave the night off right here. This is going to be the last question, hopefully it's going to be positive. How do we match against the Packers? And we'll go with whoever wants to jump in. I think pretending like he's like, okay, what you got?
No, I think it's going to be a great game, man. I think it's going to be a shootout. They have a decent defense, but we have the best offense in the NFL right now. I think the weather will play a factor. I think this will be our first bad weather game of the season, if I'm not mistaken. I expect it to be a shootout. I expect it to go down probably to the last team that has the ball. I think both teams will probably be up in the 30s as far as points scored. It's going to be a shootout, man. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a great watch. I think seeing 2 MVP candidates go head-to-head with Henry and Aaron Rodgers, I think that's going to make for a tremendous theater on Sunday Night Football. But we have to take advantage, as you mentioned, struggling in primetime games. If we want that respect, we got to go earn that respect. And I just want to see the defense play aggressive. I don't want to see us playing 10, 12 yards off of Adams, number 17, because he's probably the 2nd or 3rd best receiver in the NFL. So he'll probably be matched up with Malcolm Butler a lot. And then we're going to need, hopefully, 24 strong safety, been out, the illness.
Oh,
Vaccaro. Hopefully Vaccaro will be back this week because I think we're definitely going to need his veteran leadership in that secondary. So I really hope Vaccaro's back. I hope that Christian Fulton's back to shore up that secondary. But I want to see us be aggressive. But I think it's going to be a game in the high 30s, 38-37, 38-35, 41-38. It's going to be a high-scoring game unless the weather plays a major factor.
Oh. What do you think, Upload?
Well, again, when they face the physicality of the game, the Packers don't traditionally do well. We saw what happened last year. We played the 49ers twice. They got blown out both times. They went down to Tampa Bay this year, and they went up 10-0, I think it was. The next thing you know, they're down 38-10. Got totally blown out in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So, can our defense, though, I think our offense can do that. Now, our defense, no. But I do got something to share. These are offensive stats. I'm going to list the Titans first when I go through this. And then once we get to the bottom here, you tell me what category it is. I won't even tell you category, but this is kind of how close this matchup is on offense. So I'll go ahead and start with the Titans. Here we go. 1 versus 3, 1 versus 7, 3 versus 8, 7 versus 4, 8 versus 3, 2 versus 1, and 31 versus 1.
Well,
what's
I already know what it is.
The Packers are 100% on the year, by the way. 100% all year.
Wow.
Field goals. But that's the only oddball, and we've been better at field goal kicking, it seems, lately. But those are just like points per game, pass yards per completion, run yards per attempt, sacks, third down percentage, red zone. These are all offensive stats. We're very close. Defensively, though, that's another story. I won't even go down that road right now. But the one area you want to focus in on the Packers is how do they do against the run? Run yards per attempt. The Packers are 19th in the league, 4.5. That's not great. I think we can do something on that. And total rush defense going stat-wise, the Packers come in at 11th. So I think at least in those areas, the Titans could take advantage of the Packers. Now you flip it around, Green Bay can take advantage of the Titans defensively in many different areas. But, we're going to focus on the positives, right, Mr. Titan?
Yeah, of course. Always the positive, man. Again, keep Aaron Rodgers.
I need to get in one more negative. No, we're just not going to.
Again, you got to just keep Aaron Rodgers off the field.
Yeah, but tell me with these numbers, since we're pulling out numbers now.
Definitely.
Worst in the league against third best in the league. Want to guess what statistic that is?
Let me try. Third down? No.
Third down. We're the worst in the league defensively. Third down, we give up 52%. Green Bay is third best in the league. They convert 49%. That's a terrible matchup for third down. And we're also last in the league in sacks. So we're going to have to win time of possession.
Yes.
We're going to have to win a turnover battle like we did against Detroit. If they're driving downfield, we're going to have to come up with a goal line stand. We're going to have to get a critical, turnover, strip sack, or interception. We're going to have to win the turnover battle, in my opinion, to win this game, to compensate for our deficiencies on third down.
Got a better stat for you.
Oh, here we go. Now we go. I like this.
Okay, this is going to go into the dooms category. Packers number 1, Titans 30th.
Packers 1, Titans 30th.
Got it.
All right.
Packers offense, red zone, number 1 in the league. Titans 30th. What's the percentage for the Titans? I got to look at my cheat sheet here.
I think it's over 70%.
71%.
Upload.
Packers are 78%.
Weren't we a couple years back? We were unstoppable on in the red zone. Was that on?
We still are. We're number 2. We're number 2.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very competitive. Now we are number 1 in turnover differential. They're number 6 though, so it's 0.9 to 0.4. So a lot of these we're points per game. We're number 1 in the league. Awesome. Well, the Packers are number 3, and we're 31.1. They're 31.0. So a lot of these stat things I don't put a lot into.
Right.
It is very, very close. Total offense, we're 2, they're 4. Rush, we're 2, they're 8. Pass, we're 19th, they're 8th. They're very consistent, but they haven't played any. Who have they played? Okay, they've beat the Texans. Mm-hmm. They struggled against the Jaguars. They beat the Bears. They swept the Lions, although the last one they won by 7. They lost to Indy, even though they should have beat Indy, but Indy gets lucky all the time. They got destroyed by the Bucs. They got beat up by the Vikings rushed offense. That is the key. Vrabel, if you're watching, which you're not, but if you were, watch that Vikings game in Green Bay, 28-22. Vikings went in there, ran it all over the Packers. That's how you stop Aaron Rodgers. And Ken will agree with this, and you should too, Mr. Titan. The Vikings defense, secondary, awful. Just absolutely awful. But they can at least rush faster. We can't. I'm done.
Mic drop. I mean, everyone was loving the stats as Big O was saying stat wars and stuff. We just threw all the
Trademark
stats.
that now. Trademark it now, Mr. Titan. That's a new series. Stat Wars. Every Friday night. Breaking down Titan stats. And give Big O all the credit.
There we go. Go Big O again. I hope you feel better. Before we leave,
I froze him.
Again, does Derrick Henry run for 200 yards? Someone wants to know. Rob wants to know. Will King Henry run for 200 yards?
He could.
He could. No. The stats say no.
No.
Stat man says no. What do you think?
No,
I say 150.
No, he's not gonna. Again, you got to look at it. They expect us to run.
Yep.
I think they're going to take away the run, and that's where Ryan Tannehill is going to show up. And you know what? You're bringing Corey Davis, A.J. Brown to the party. Both these guys, I know one made the Pro Bowl, the other one didn't. Both should have made it. And real quick, I don't care popularity contest. How does your number one rusher back-to-back seasons look like Henryless? Something happens. It's going to be your leading rusher back-to-back years. How do you not get one offensive lineman to make the Pro Bowl? Not one. If you have basically the number one rush offense in the league,
right?
That's a joke.
Yeah.
And you can't even say they're giving up sacks. I got that stat too. They're 7th in the league in sacks. They give up 1.5 sacks per game, and they're playing with their third left tackle. How do you not give them one guy? Nate Davis? He's been playing awesome. At least give one of these guys a chance at the Pro Bowl. They can't do it, but it's popularity.
It is a fan vote, right? So it is a fan vote, right?
Yeah, supposedly.
So,
yeah. And we have Adam. We got Titan Man in the house. Actually, he says Jets beat Rams and Bengals beat Steelers this past weekend. Numbers are just numbers. At the end of the day, any given Sunday, we were built for December and January. Let's go. There you go, Titan Man. Yeah, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. If we beat the Packers and the Colts lose the Steelers.
Yes, but you got to look at it from the other end too, and that's why that Texans game is not going to be a gimme.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Throw the stats out the window. We don't match up well against Deshaun Watson. We just don't.
It's a division game.
It's going to be a close
division game. And trust me, they would love nothing more
to knock us off,
to ruin our season. They would love nothing more to ruin our season because they are miserable down here right now. Seeing the Colts and the Titans both at 10-4, about to go into the playoffs, and they don't even have a draft pick. So, yeah, that's going to be a tough game in 2 weeks if it comes down to that. So we just got to hope the Steelers can come through, take care of business, and then we can take care of business on Sunday night, and then we can rest up in Week 17.
Definitely. And Titan Rob, I don't think we signed any pass rush for help, right? I haven't heard any news or anything like that, so I think we're going to be stuck to what we got.
We got the guy from Cleveland, right? 2nd round pick from Cleveland. He should be in the fold, I would think, probably, maybe even this week or next week.
We'll see. Again,
hello?
I have no idea.
Frozen?
I'm not frozen. Am I frozen?
No, you're good, dude. Okay. The whole show.
Oh, you're good now. Maybe I'm the only frozen one.
All right, you scared me. I was like, oh, man. It happened. I'm like, it happened. It had to happen. I'm like, we went good for a whole hour. I'm like, I didn't freeze usually. All right, Titan Upload. Let everyone know where they can find you. Then you can go ahead, Ken Moore. Go ahead and just give it all your information. If you have anything coming out, video-wise, coming out soon, just let them know.
Yeah, you can find me at Titan Upload on YouTube. It'd be an honor to have you guys. Although a lot of these people in the room are a part of the Titan Upload and Mr. Titan Universe and Ken Moore Universe as well. And Twitter at Titan Upload 27. I'm on Instagram. I think it's the same. I don't really know. But again, a lot of my stuff comes through YouTube. That's my main focus at this point. I try to do what I can on Twitter. Usually nobody cares what I have to say on Twitter, so I kind of don't bother. And then at least I'm able to have a Facebook, Mr. Titan. So I do have that going for me.
I don't know what I did, man. I still don't know what I did, but
hey, it's always fun to be here, and it's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with both of you guys. So tighten up to both of you, and thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
and for me, guys, you can find me on both Twitter and YouTube at K Moore Sports. My first initial K, Moore, in sports, all together, one word. Both the same on Twitter and on YouTube, and then on Instagram, Ken Moore Sports. So that's how you can hit me. And I'll have a show. My show is Titans the day after. So I'll typically do my shows on Monday evenings after the game. So that'll be my next show. Are you doing a preview show, Mark?
I might. You know what? Derrick Henry did the stiff arm. My mom's in town. I might have to just do another. I might have to do another video, man. I might just have to do it. So I might do a pre-game video. It just depends. I got a million people in my house now. Got the whole family. So we'll see what happens. But
I'm thinking about doing a pregame show, maybe 6:00 Sunday evening before the game. If people are interested, I'll see how it goes this weekend, and if I decide to do so, I'll put that up. But I know Titan Upload normally does the watch party. So
yeah, so we'll get together. We'll make something happen. But again, thank you guys so much for joining me, everyone. Thank you guys for watching us. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Like always, tighten up, guys.
All right, guys. Y'all have a Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas. Yeah. Merry Christmas to the both of you guys. For everyone that's watching, Merry Christmas. Hope you guys got, some good gifts and enjoy your time with your family. It's been crazy. 2020 has been crazy.
Hey, I got some really good news. It's actually breaking news.
Oh.
It came out a couple days ago. I got some sources. Apparently, okay, this is real. It's legit. So if there's kids watching at home, this is real news. Santa Claus, I can confirm, did take the vaccine for COVID. He's good to go. So Santa, good to go. Heard it here on Mr. Titan's channel.
There we go. Breaking news.
Hey, what about a watch party on Christmas night or Christmas Eve?
Let's do it.
Follow Santa Claus. I'll bring my maps. We'll have a good time. We'll be in touch, man. We'll be in touch.
Hey, there's no game. So hey, see what happens.
We will see what happens. That was good. That Santa Claus thing threw me off. But again, thank you guys so much. But it's
trademark that. Trademark that. Write it down. Tweet it. Yep. Trademark that Santa watch party. We'll get it going.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Deliver a victory on Sunday.
Definitely. Tying up 10-4. Let's take the AFC South. All right. Have a good night. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you.
Peace.